Tonight's game is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities and by user testing, real-time feedback from real customers wherever you work. The crowd is buzzing in Oakland, California at Laney College Field because the Oakland Roots, against all odds, have a chance to end the night above the playoff line as they host LA Galaxy 2. Alongside Manchester United great Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. We're up to Injury Time, brought to you by Mere Orthopedic Specialist, online or in person. Mere Orthopedic Specialist provides specialized, innovative, and compassionate services. And tonight's game is brought to you by East Bay Community Energy. The Roots announced their pledge to be climate positive in 2022. To learn more, go to oaklandrootssc.com/climate-justice. We take a look at the Pacific Division standings to show you where the Roots come in tonight, brought to you by Puma. They are 3 points back of Tacoma, and based on the tiebreaker, a win puts them in fourth.
That's incredible. I can remember the match against Tacoma Defiance, 2 months ago? We did it. There was a couple of mistakes in defense. They lost the game. We're like, when will Oakland Roots ever win a match? And now they're on the verge of making the playoffs. It's one of the most incredible runs ever seen in USL history.
LA Galaxy 2, not far behind, but they're going to have to start picking up points immediately if they want to remain in the playoff picture. These teams met last back on Saturday, August 14th. This is the final meeting of their season series. Oakland won the first, Galaxy won the second, Oakland won the third, and this was the win that turned things around for Oakland.
It was. I remember that very well. And at last, the confidence started flowing through Oakland. And I think other than the Tampa Bay result, they've won or drawn virtually everything that's come their way. It's an incredible. Of all the teams in the country, they probably currently have the best winning record.
We take a look at the starting lineups tonight, beginning with the home side Oakland Roots, brought to you by Anthem. 2 new additions with Nane and Brown coming into the lineup.
Yeah, and 4 changes in total from the 3-1 victory against Tacoma. Diaz goes to the bench along with Fasore. Valfol gets a night off. Jose Hernandez suspended. In come Akim Ward, Joseph Nane, Max Ornstall, and Brian Brown. Brown, one of the new players up front. He could be a major signing.
On the flip side, LA Galaxy 2, they go ahead and trot out one of the best scorers under the radar in Preston Judd.
Oh, he's a fantastic striker, Preston Judd. What is it, 11 goals in 22 appearances? That's phenomenal. Got some young players around him that are going to need to stand up. And you look at the midfield of Davila and Aguirre, Owen Lamb, they're all around the 20 mark. Even Zubak's 23. Preston Judd himself is 22, so it's a really fantastic young side. Vomsteeg coming in goals there for Lopez.
We look at the East Bay Community Energy player to watch for the Oakland Roots. It's Lindo Mafega. He's coming off a 2-goal performance, and he is the number 10 who played with Brian Brown when Brown had his success at Reno.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if they can just link it up again and start playing well together? But Lyndon Ferker is such a clever player in the middle of the pitch, got a great engine, gets up and down, scores goals as well, and the occasional assist.
It's a big night here in Oakland. The fans are ready to go. The Roots and the Galaxy coming up next on ESPN+.
For so many, life looks different these days. Some now work from home, others have become essential. People are stepping up in big ways to help keep the world moving. And at Anthem Blue Cross, we're doing the same to keep them protected, with affordable plans full of benefits like online care. Because when health moves forward, we all move forward. Anthem Blue Cross.
Community. It's not just a place. It's shared experiences and memories. It's feeling like you belong. It's home.
Here is Jack McInerney, still McInerney!
But community is more than where you come from. It's the sum of our collective actions. And if we work together, it's ours for generations. East Bay Community Energy. Join us in leading the transition to green power.
Ball over the top for Rodriguez, cut inside, back post, exclamation point. Oakland in the home black from left to right. LA Galaxy in the road whites from right to left. We're ready to go at Laney College. Chilly night in Oakland. You see the jackets on all the fans, some players in the long sleeves. In the 60s with some breeze. Elvis Osmanovic, the man in yellow. We await his whistle to get things going. 5th place, Oakland. 7th place, LA. Oakland a chance against all odds to end the night above the playoff line with a run at spin. They were 1-8-3. Now they're within 3 points of a playoff spot. Kickoff presented by User Testing. Real-time feedback from real customers wherever you work. Visit usertesting.com to learn more. Early four-way forward for Galaxy. Ends in a goal kick. Has a chance of Let's Go Oakland ring out from the crowd. We take a look at the injury report brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. There it is. And it's a clean slate. Nothing doing there for Oakland. They like to keep it that way at this stage of the season. Ariel Mumba goes direct over the top. The first ball in the direction of Brian Brown. They've been waiting for Brian Brown to get back out onto the field. When these teams, when Oakland played against New Mexico back in early August, the game we actually had the pleasure of calling, Gary, after that game, the coaches and the minds met and they said, you know what? Let's make a swap. That naturally makes sense. Loans with players going each way. Salih Muhammad returned to New Mexico, and Brian Brown came to a team in need of a number 9 to play in front of a player he's played with in Lindo Mufeka. And so much of that success Brown had at Reno came with Mufeka behind him. 27 goals in 65 appearances in his Reno career.
Well, it's great news for Oakland Roots because bit by bit everything's coming together. The goalkeeping side of things with Paul Blanchette has been a huge success, and with Taylor Bailey as well, and so you move through the defense, which has been tighter. They've been scoring goals. Now you've got extra players available in attack as well, and you can add to that. Jeremy Bakila's been scoring goals up front. Chuy Enriquez is on the bench. Tonwea's back from an injury. So if you're an Oakland Roots fan, as you said at the beginning, not only has it been the most amazing run to see them on the verge of a playoff spot, but everything else seems to be going right for the team in black here today.
LA not going to be an easy team to deal with, though. They gave Phoenix all Phoenix could handle last weekend on Saturday night. A game that was just off the wall the entire time. It finished 4-3 in Phoenix's favor, but LA showed that on any given night they can play with anybody, and it all stems from Preston Judd with his 11 goals in 22 matches up top.
Don't forget that winning goal for Phoenix Rising was in the 90th minute, an own goal by Vasquez, unfortunately. So, yeah, I agree with you. Brilliant performance by LA Galaxy. The stats will show you they've won only one of the last 5, 3 losses. Not been great, but some of their performances have been top class, and that means they can still turn this around. They can still make a playoff place.
Acosta pulls it back for Aguirre. When these teams met on August 12th, Galaxy got an early goal. It came on a free kick that beat Paul Blanchette. Took a slight, ever so slight deflection off the wall, but it was enough to get it past Blanchette. Red card was picked up by LA in the 22nd minute, and then Oakland scored 2 in the next 5 minutes and held on to win 2-1 the rest of the way. And Oakland's first win as a franchise came back in May against Galaxy, a 3-2 thriller. The lone win for Galaxy in the season series came 3-0 over Oakland in Oakland's first game back after their COVID pause. So understandably so, a team that was rusty after a couple of weeks away from the field. Acosta tried to get past Ward. Ended up going right into him, wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Orange still thrust into the role of the holding midfield tonight. With the night off for Vol Fall and Matias Fisore. That space is vacated, chance here for Galaxy, and that's a very easy shot to deal with for Paul Blanchette off the foot of Jonathan Perez.
Yeah, didn't quite catch it properly. He's looking at the turf and going, well, hang on a second, that's not my fault. And it all set up perfectly for him. He was in a position where a player with a good a striker as Jonathan Perez is, you've expected him to test Paul Blanchette a little bit more than he did. But when you look at these two teams, it's the experience of Oakland Roots that is all coming together now. Players sitting around 28, Kai Green, Clemente 30, Kim Ward 25, Paul Blanchette 27. Experienced players, they can defend, they know how to win games, and that you can now see up against some wonderful young talent. Look at Jalen Neal just 17 years of age in defense. Jonathan Perez, we just saw, is just 18. So congratulations to LA Galaxy, as always, for bringing through some wonderful talent. But they're going to be up against real seasoned pros here tonight in Oakland Roots, and it's going to be tough for Los Dos.
And Los Dos started well, but they haven't been able to maintain their hot start like Tacoma has. Tacoma currently still sitting in 4th place for the time being. They play tomorrow against San Diego as this playoff race continues to forge onward in the Pacific Division. And you mentioned before on that shot from Perez, he looked down at the turf. A number of players will do that as the game goes along because the turf is new. It's still being broken in. Players for Oakland believe it's coming along nicely, though. Here's Brown out for Takahashi. Mumba. And too far out in front of Orange still. As they've played on it more, it's settled in. The bounces are truer. It's playing faster, so it's coming along. Good ball fed inside. Blanchette read it wrong. Still alive here. Chance for Aguirre. Pulls it back, Perez. Curled in, nobody there in a white jersey, and the black jerseys let it go by. Almost fell right to Preston Judd.
That was a tricky ball for Paul Blanchette. It moved across the box very quickly, and the experienced keeper did well not to bring anybody down. He wanted a reach foot. It skipped off the turf a little bit quicker than possibly he expected. And in the end, trouble averted, but it just shows you, as you say, how this pitch can be difficult to read at times.
Now, LA Galaxy has played on this pitch. It was just transported. This pitch is portable. It rolls up. And when they played last time, it was at Merritt College, and it was still this surface, different venue, same surface. So LA is familiar with it still.
If you play on it regularly like Oakland do, maybe it gets easier to read. But also even for the players, 1 week you're on grass, next week you're on turf. It's a different type of turf. It can take you a good while just to get your eye in.
Flag goes up on Johnny Rodriguez. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com.
We just saw Johnny Rodriguez there, but he scored that goal against Las Vegas Lights that got them all 3 points and worked really hard that night. So impressed with him. And in fact, with the whole team, they battled their way to 3 points. They didn't overrun Las Vegas Lights at all. Las Vegas Lights hit the woodwork twice, but in the end, they just ground out a very, very important 3 points.
Takahashi. Orange still. Now Mumba. Not quick enough to it. Pouncing there was Isaac Bawa. Orange still scored the opening goal for Oakland the last time these teams met. A terrific volley from the top of the box. Oh, watch out. Good thing those boards can fall over like that and they're not solid. Otherwise, that would have been quite the spill for Zubac. Those boards forgiving.
Well, we did mention the bigger, stronger, older players of Oakland Roots, and that's one way of letting somebody know that they're in for a tough evening. And you have to do that if you're Oakland Roots. You have to use your sort of experience and perhaps your power advantage over the younger players of LA Galaxy too, and it's up to the younger players to stand firm.
Chatting with Jordan Farrell, he was very excited to get the likes of Brian Brown and then Joseph Nane into the lineup with the experience they bring. Nane previously had connections to some members of the Oakland front office back in his early MLS days. This is someone who was drafted back in 2010 by Toronto FC. From there, he went on to a number of professional teams, a number of countries. And it's the experience of players you mentioned, like Kai Green, Emra Clementa, and now Nane, that Jordan Farrell believes will push this Oakland team over that finish line into the playoffs when you have that experience in the mix in a tight playoff race like this.
100% agree with him on that comment, and I think there's a few teams above them who would not want to meet Oakland Roots in a playoff should they get there. I'm not so sure they want to meet LA Galaxy too as well, because they have a whole host of players they can call on. And as you mentioned, Preston Judd up front is just in brilliant form at the moment.
Aguirre feeds it over to Owen Lamb. It was Lamb who picked up the red card in that last meeting. That tilted things in Oakland's favor. No problem here for Paul Blanchette. Part of this turnaround, as you alluded to earlier, Gary, has been built on the back of Paul Blanchette. Before August 11th, Blanchette's goals against average was 2.66 with a 65% save percentage. After August 11th, his goals against average is 0.75 with a save percentage over 80%.
Wow. What happened on August the 11th? Yeah, he's done ever so well. He's just calmed everything down at the back. They had a few sort of mishaps in goal before that. I think of Tacoma Defiance 6-7 weeks ago. And a couple of goals there that maybe shouldn't have happened. And I think he's just come in and got everyone around him, trusting in him, believing in him. And when he's not been available, Taylor Bailey's come in and done really well. So always important. Every coach will tell you that you need a good, solid goalkeeper and backup goalkeeper to make the rest of your team feel comfortable.
Here's Akeem Ward. Good delivery in. There was Johnny Rodriguez waiting for it. Oakland has been using Rodriguez on the right flank, but Jordan Farrell had noted that he is naturally a number 9, so he is likely to at times drift like that up to the top of the formation and be a threat. Mafeka skimmed it along towards Rodriguez.
Nice high press coming from Oakland Roots. And LA Galaxy trying to play through it, which they do.
Perez has an option on the left side. Aguirre uses it now. Overlap coming from Acosta. Aguirre cuts in, trying to find space. He draws the foul. Free kick, edge of the area for LA Galaxy 2.
That's a very good counter-attack by LA Galaxy 2, right through the middle and right to the edge of the box. Aguirre winning the free kick. Some beautiful play. Perez involved as well. Just dummies there and just connects with the outside of the foot. But it's a great place to win a free kick. It's one of those, you can have a dipper goal from there. You're, what, just over 20 yards away. You give the option of a striker goal, of maybe a cross into the box. And that's the pace at which LA Galaxy can counter-attack Oakland Roots. They play through the press and then were very quick in their vertical transition.
For all of the rotation in the squad for LA Galaxy 2 as an MLS affiliate, Aguirre's been one of the mainstays. This is his 18th start of the season. And he stands over the free kick that he earned, as does Perez. Will it be the left foot of Perez or the right foot of Aguirre from this angle?
Just hope Blanchette set up his wall to counter for both angles.
It is Perez, and it's just over the bar.
Yeah, there seemed to be a little bit of a gap on that one side there, and I think Perez was trying to bend the ball around the wall. Instead, he goes over it, and there's a little bit too much height on it. And to be fair, I think Paul Blanchette has read that straight away. As he's hit it, the keeper's gone across. He's got that covered.
Little finger wagging the wall as well from Emra Clementa. That replay brought to you by Nation's Giant Hamburgers. Eat real, eat Nations.
That's a little reminder there to the Oakland Roots players that no matter how good a spell they're on at the moment and have been for the last 7 or 8 weeks, if they take this LA Galaxy 2 side for granted, these players can hurt them. They can transition very, very quickly. They've got some wonderful touch players. And as Oakland Roots have done in the past, this is a game they might have to work extremely hard to get the points they want.
And throughout the last month and a half, Oakland has gone through checkpoints, according to Jordan Farrell, of that maturation process. They went on the road and earned a hard-earned draw against New Mexico. Akeem Ward sends that one a little too far for Rodriguez. Then they went ahead and got that big scalp of Phoenix Rising, a notch in your belt to take down the #1 seed in the Pacific. Then they ground out a 1-0 win on the road against Las Vegas Lights. That was something they hadn't yet done, was win 1-0. Every step of the way, they're maturing a little bit more and more, and now they know they're not catching teams by surprise anymore. They're not being slept on. They're going to start getting teams' best shots.
Absolutely. It has been an amazing run. I mean, again, if you'd have left the country for some reason or not been able to watch soccer, you know, 6-7 weeks ago when Oakland Roots couldn't buy a win. You come back now and hear they could even make the playoffs. Incredible. But again, credit to Jordan Ferrell and the rest of his team, his coaching team and the players. They kept on believing, they kept on working at it. What they want to do now is not waste all this good work. They want to make sure they make the playoffs.
Inside, looking for Judd. Fed along towards the corner, but too far out in front of Aguirre. This team was 1-8-3. Since then, 6 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws for Oakland. They went from 6 points in early August to now sitting on 27 and a chance to get above the playoff line at night's end based on the tiebreaker. Tacoma does play San Diego tomorrow. And then elsewhere around the league tonight in the Pacific Division, we have some action between Phoenix and Orange County, and then Sacramento is hosting San Antonio. Sacramento is right there as well, coming into the night just 1 point behind Oakland. Here's Aguirre again. Plays it along. And it's a corner kick, well earned by Zubak, pressuring Clementa.
Yeah, good on Zubak there to keep going right to the end, keep plugging away to try and get a set piece. And as always, these are dangerous situations, ball, especially if they're decent corners, into the mix, just away from the goalkeeper, so the keeper can't come and pick it up. Give your big center back something to go for.
Perez, the outswinger. Volley attempt was wildly missed by Zubak, so much so that it's still in, out back to the corner. That corner was brought to you by East Bay Community Energy, providing green power at low rates. Visit ebce.org to find out more. Not often do you see a shot that was supposed to go on target end up being a perfect pass back out to the guy in the corner.
Oh, I think Ethan Zubak will say it was meant to be a pass.
Curious to see on the stat sheet later on if that added to their passing accuracy or if it added a shot to the shot column.
But you mentioned Sacramento Republic, and one can't ignore them in this mix. Of course, Tacoma could drop points against San Diego, but they could keep going as well. So there's literally 4 teams: Tacoma, Oakland Roots, Sacramento Republic, and LA Galaxy 2 are all battling for a playoff spot. And then, of course, above them, San Diego and Orange County. If either of those 2 teams hit a bit of a bad spell, they could drop down. So there still is so much to play for, and it's incredibly exciting in this division.
At night's end, Oakland will also have a game in hand on San Diego and Orange County. So if they can secure 3 points against LA Galaxy here, they would be within 4 points of San Diego and Orange County with a game in hand and with matchups against them coming up. The next 2 games for Oakland, home against San Diego on Wednesday, and then they go on the road against Orange County.
I guess you could have a similar argument for LA Galaxy 2 as well. If they win, suddenly they're right in the mix again. They've got games coming up which are all 6-pointers, some of them against Sacramento Republic. So again, if any one team puts a good run together from now till the end of the season, which is literally weeks away, they've got a great chance of making the playoffs. Conversely, if you have a bad run, you can drop out of contention.
And that goes back to the format in which you have all of these divisional matchups where there are 6-point swings here, and Jordan Ferrell talked a lot about that this week. It's important to win the games against teams in your division because you get 3 and it keeps them on their same number. And if you look at the schedule, the rest of the way for Oakland until the season's last day, all divisional opponents on the season's last day, they have a cross-divisional matchup against Sporting Kansas City 2. And Clementa walking a bit gingerly after that run. He has been a big part of the turnaround here for Oakland. The credit goes to Blanchette for a lot of the saves he has made and what he's done on the back end. But Jordan Ferrell talks about the diamond at the back with Blanchette in goal, with his 2 center backs of Green and Clementa, and with whoever is playing the number 6 role in front of them, be it Vol Fall, be it Matias Fasore, be it tonight Max Orange still coming into the fray, or Joseph Nane, whoever is deputized as the number 6. The top of the diamond, it's all working out defensively. Now here offensively, Mafeka cuts it back. Slipping on the turf was Brown, and the handball goes against Johnny Rodriguez. We've seen those 2 link up in the past. We're waiting for them to do so here now for Oakland tonight.
Yeah, Lyndon Feka, we spoke about him early on in the match, and a lovely ball played through for him to get down that right-hand flank, head up, tries to get the ball in there. There's a bit of a slip, unfortunately. Rodriguez with the ball in, Lyndon Feka trying to play it back, and it looks like Brian Brown just slipped there at the crucial moment. But that's what they can do, Oakland Roots. They can certainly threaten on the counter-attack. And they can soak up pressure as well, as they showed. We go back to that New Mexico United match. They soaked up a lot of pressure that day and got a result. Las Vegas Lights was another good example. And as good as LA Galaxy 2 look on the ball, won't bother Oakland Roots too much as long as Paul Blanchette is not being tested.
Takahashi gets by his man into space. Soya Takahashi providing the energy from the left side here for Oakland. Never tires out. 90th minute of every game. He is still the only one running like it is still the first minute. His efforts here turn into a centralized ball for Ornstill. Now tucked back in for Brown, who could not put enough on it to get it back out to Takahashi. Foul here goes against Kai Green. Rather, Joseph Nane, pardon me. There are 4 home games left at Laney this season for Oakland. Don't miss any of the action as the Roots make their push towards the playoffs. Tickets start at just $20 for general admission. Please visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets. It is remarkable to have an advertisement read that says playoff push for Oakland Roots still, considering where they have come from in this season. And there's a look at the upcoming schedule there, where they have 3 of the next 5 at home.
But they're not easy ones, are they? San Diego at home. At Orange County is going to be a massive, massive one. Possibly Las Vegas Lights at home, given that Las Vegas Lights are really struggling to get results at the moment. But again, everyone's got tough matches. Everyone's going to drop points. It's the team that puts the best run together. And for Oakland Roots, just keep their run going. If they can just do what they have been doing. They've got the personnel. They've got a strong bench. Again, if we're looking at the bench, Harish on the bench, Tan Weir, Chuy Enriquez, Memo Diaz, Fasore, Bokila. These are all top players. They really have brought a lot of good players into their team in the last 3 or 4 months. And they're a very, very powerful squad.
Had a good laugh with Jordan Farrell in our chat this week. I asked him, is the lineup going to haunt you coming up here in a good way? Because you have so many decisions to make, you don't know who to leave out. He said, fortunately right now, we still have a condensed schedule where I have to rotate guys, but ask me again in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure I'll be taking something to aid my sleep at night, because there's going to be a lot of long nights and early mornings agonizing over the lineup. But it's a good problem to have, and right now a bad problem to have for LA Galaxy as they have to defend this free kick in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, Bawa giving that foul away, and referee just having a word. Got to be careful there. Won't get the yellow card, but he's on a warning, you would think. Have a look there, just lunges in on Takahashi. So referee will mark that one down, and should it happen again, then Isaac Bawa will be in a spot of bother, you would think.
Right there behind Ariel Mumba, that's Matias Fasore, almost acting as like an assistant coach from the sideline as well. The veteran Argentine player has been a valuable asset for Oakland as a coach on the field. He rotates out of the starting 11 tonight, but may see him with around a half an hour to go. Ariel Mumba is there for the free kick. Curls it in, center of the box. Ornstein was waiting for it and never got through. Rodriguez keeps it alive. Overlap coming from Akeem Ward. Rodriguez keeps it himself, feeds it inside. Kai Green. Brown lays it off, gets it back. Tucked inside to Mumba. Mumba takes a shot, and it's wide.
That's some good play there by Oakland Roots, and Mumba, don't think he was too far away, but the touch play, the getting the crosses into the box, everything was just pressure. There's the ball coming back. Good left foot strike. It doesn't seem like it's that far away, difficult to tell from this angle. Mind you, Vom Steeg didn't go racing across his box, so obviously wasn't that close, but it's the style of play, it's the moving the ball around, it's creating the angles, and eventually getting shots on goal or towards goal, and that's good play from Oakland Roots. You were just talking about Jordan Farrell beforehand and his concerns should he get to the playoffs as to who he leaves out. He'll be very happy to have that problem because A, it means he's got to the playoffs, and B, it means he has a lot of good players to choose from. So I think most coaches would take that problem.
There's two sides to that coin as far as difficult lineup decisions, and he has experienced one side. That was early in the season when the lineup was just so depleted due to all the injuries, and it was difficult to fill out a lineup card because they just didn't have the bodies at that point. They had 4 strikers signed to the team. They had 4 strikers on the injury report at the same time. Now he gets to experience the other side of that coin, which is having so many guys where you don't know who to put in, and you're going to stress over the results afterwards. Oh, would it have been different? I put this guy in or that guy in, but good problems to have with plenty of options.
I'm going to say he'd much rather have that problem of too many players than too little players. I think every coach would agree.
Absolutely.
But again, the fact that he stayed so calm throughout all of these tough times, Jordan Farrell, that's great credit to him. He always said, when we spoke to him earlier in the season, he said, it's coming together, don't worry, the scores might not be there, but the way the team is playing is looking better. And he was right. In the end, he did pull it all around. And aren't they playing well now? Amazing.
Mumba. Passed along to Green. Inside Brown. Takahashi made the run, never got it. We'll have to retreat back to an onside position. Now he'll get it out there. Takahashi right into Bawa. There is Lindo Mafeka. Had 2 goals on Wednesday against Tacoma. First time in his professional career that he started as the number 9 up top the formation, and he scored twice. That was not by design, just the way that Jordan Farrell wanted to rotate the lineup to keep legs fresh. He felt that Mafeka gave them a good look against Tacoma, and it's nice as a manager when you are made to look like a genius on a night like that. Sometimes it works out that way. He joked this week that he knows who his emergency number 9 is now down the stretch of the season. But back into his more normal number 10 tonight.
It's happy days at the moment for Oakland Roots, and there he is, Jordan Farrell. Must sometimes have to pinch himself, the change in what's happened. This is a tricky LA Galaxy 2 side they're up against. They've had some good results away.
Mafeka, Ward. Ward, can he get a cross off as he turns a corner? He earns a corner.
Just saying they've had some good results away from home, LA Galaxy, and some poor ones. Last time out, they lost at San Diego. Before that, they beat Las Vegas Lights away. They beat Orange County away, by the way. You know, they're fantastic win there, 3-2 at Orange County. And then got beat 5-0 at Phoenix Rising. So you never know which LA Galaxy 2 you're going to get.
And that's what makes it so difficult to face them. Junior Gonzalez, his squad, plenty of firepower. Here's an East Bay Community Energy corner kick. Swung in, open header was there. Hands on the face for the captain, Emra Clementa. Knows that that one opened perfectly for him.
And that's where I would think Oakland Roots could have an advantage over Los Dos, is from set pieces when you've got big players who can commit themselves to winning the ball in the box. It becomes more and more difficult for the younger players of Los Dos to deal with them, to stay with their markers, to challenge them, to compete in the air. So set pieces is one area that LA Galaxy 2 are going to have to be very aware of and really concentrate well and make sure everybody's picked up.
Wayward goal kick from Vomsteeg. If you're Junior Gonzalez now, as we approach the half-hour mark and a microcosm of the season, really, you're happy and you're upset with some things probably for Galaxy. They've had some good spells of play, but as this game has gone on longer and longer, Oakland seems to have taken more of a foothold.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair summation. There was some lovely play early on from Los Dos, and that's what these younger, talented players can produce for you, but they have started to get a stranglehold on this Oakland Roots, and the question is, how do LA Galaxy 2 deal with it? What's their commitment going to be to winning 50-50s, to getting possession back? We'll find out.
Takahashi up to Brown. Back for Takahashi. Now Mumba. The 19-year-old for another week before he turns 20. He has been one of the bright, shining stars of this Oakland club. That poor pass back left Blanchette in an awkward position. Long run out of the box to get it out to the wing. Back to Mumba. He is third on the team with 3 goals. Oh, nearly given away by Blanchette. Saved by the whistle.
What's Blanchette doing? That's such a dangerous ball to play right across your goal, edge of the box. Very, very lucky to get away with that. Just don't think that they need to take those sort of risks. Let's have a look at it again. Blanchette's out of goal when he plays it, so if that gets intercepted, it's an empty net. They get the call, but I don't think you want to take too many risks like that.
And a lot of Oakland fans will shudder at a play like that, knowing some of the plays that were given away in the past by goalkeepers this season. Looking for an essential career in the field of aviation? The Aviation Institute of Maintenance offers FAA-approved hands-on training to prepare students to test for their airframe and power plant certification. Call 888-FIX-JETS for more info. That's 888-349-5387. Owen Lamb pulls it back for Isaac Bawa.
There's a lot of players slipping. That's about the 5th or 6th player I've seen slip on this pitch. I don't know if it was watered a lot beforehand. We saw Brian Brown a little bit earlier in the box as he went to try and get on the end of a pass slip. Seen a few defenders as well. So once again, the turf is an issue for the players as they try and figure it out.
As they've had more games on this turf, they've started to figure out when and how much to water it. But another factor tonight, there have been scattered showers in the area, 62 degrees. A couple of misty storms have come through. That has added to the slickness of the pitch. Here's Brown.
Frustrating start for Brian Brown. 30 minutes into the match, he hasn't really got into it. He's lost possession a few times, slipped a few times.
Zubak. And it's blocked down by Clementa.
And whenever you make your debut for a club, especially as a striker, you want to, if not be scoring, and be testing the keeper and showing everyone what you can do. It hasn't happened yet for Brian Brown, but it might still do.
He has been with the team for the better part of the last month, but it's certainly different going from training sessions with your teammates to actual live game action and learning who wants the ball where, how it's served up by certain players. A lot of nuances to learn about.
Yeah, and you want to win over the crowd and the press and the media watching, and you're not going to do that in training. You're only ever going to do that in a match situation.
Nice flick inside by Rodriguez. Puts Mafeka into space, sending Brown along. A little bit too far out in front, though. Now, at the very least, the chemistry is there, you know, between Mafeka and Brown. They spent 3 seasons together with Reno. In that time, 27 goals in 65 matches for Brown. And for Mafeka, 75 appearances, 14 goals, 8 assists. They were quite the duo.
Now, those are good stats, absolutely, especially for Brian Brown. Can he reproduce it here at Oakland Roots? That's the question. You also have to wonder about the psychology of Oakland Roots, because up until now they've been chasing the dream. Can they actually make the playoffs? Can they beat a Phoenix Rising? Can the season come together? Now it's within grasp. Do you start to get a bit nervous that you might blow it at this stage? Do you start to try a little bit too hard or overthink it? These are all issues that are possible. I'm not a psychologist, but been in enough locker rooms to know that as a player, your brain starts to do some funny things under pressure.
I actually asked Jordan Farrell about what it would mean to see the name Oakland Roots above the playoff line at the night's end if they were to take 3 points. He said it's something we cannot get caught up in, to your point, that now that it's actually there and tangible, not to get caught up in it. But he said it would be actually a spark, a catalyst down the stretch to remind them how far they've come, but what is still ahead of them, because the battle is not over. The season doesn't end today. Just because you're above the line today doesn't mean you're going to be there even by the end of tomorrow night, because Tacoma plays San Diego tomorrow. So it's something that's there as a reminder of the hard work and dedication, but the job's not finished.
100%. And you're dealing with very mature players at Oakland Roots. They understand that they've just turned a horrendous season into one that could still be a wonderful season. So from a professional point of view, you're a lot more relieved. And you're excited about the possibilities of, A, getting to the playoffs, and then why not do well when you get there?
Down the wing, into space, it's Zubak. Options in the middle, he takes it himself. Blanchette made the stop. He's come up big time after time. Pardon me, that was actually Jonathan Perez down the right side. But Blanchette, once again, massive for the Roots.
I just wonder if Jonathan Perez could have pulled it back, because Judd was waiting in the middle there. He was all primed to have a shot and stick it in the back of the net. And in the end, Perez chooses to try and beat Blanchette at the near post, and the keeper comes up with the save. And as you said, a decent save as well. But that was a great chance for LA Galaxy too, and you can't let too many of those chances slip by. Let's have a look at it again down this right-hand side. Great pace, great ability from Jonathan Perez. Stunning, but have a look and you see Judd. Judd's got his hands out saying, pass it to me. And there was an empty net as Blanchette comes out of his goal. If the ball is pulled back to Judd, it's a tap into an empty net. There's Judd, number 31, waiting, and he jumps up and down in frustration when the ball doesn't come his way.
He's got 11 goals on the season as well, Judd. That is one that, when they roll on the tape of this game and watch it back as a team, the pass had to be made there. And that's part of the growth process for this LA Galaxy squad. A lot of young players. Perez himself, just 18 years of age.
It's important to know when someone's in a better position and allow them that opportunity, which unfortunately Jonathan Perez didn't do on that occasion. But credit him with creating the opportunity, though.
You could be in a good position, but you can always have a teammate in a better position.
Having said that, what wonderful acceleration from Jonathan Perez on that right-hand side. What a talent he looks at just 18 years of age.
How difficult is a play like that to manage from your goalkeeper's perspective, as this one nearly troubles Blanchette as he stumbles on the turf? How difficult is that to deal with? Out of the corner of your eye, you can see somebody wide open. You've got the player running at you. In that moment, what are the calculations going on in your mind?
Mostly it's about defending your near post and making the save that you have to save. If you start trying to read the cross and you leave your near post open, then it's an easy goal to score. If the ball gets pulled back to Judd and he scores, then it's not on you as the keeper, it's on the defense. And so you have to just do your job and allow others to either do theirs or not. And that's why Jonathan Perez had the opportunity there. He'd sucked in the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper had to commit. If he can play that ball back there, it's an almost certain goal.
Here's Rodriguez in a good position, and Vom Steeg pounces on it. Paul Blanchette actually did give up a goal just like that on Wednesday against Tacoma. Streaking down the wing was Ray Serrano, and Blanchette, from his vantage point, anticipated a cross. He took one step to his right and was beaten at the near post. So deja vu, but this time he dealt with it. This one sent in, and Blanchette snags it.
But there is so much more belief in their goalkeeper now for Oakland Roots. And he's earned it. Good hands there again. Balls that come in with height, he's good at them. He makes the saves. He's brave on one-on-ones. And his defenders have seen him make enough saves that they really trust that he can come to their aid when he needs to. But also a little reminder of how good LA Galaxy 2 are. That break down the right-hand side from Jonathan Perez.
That ball split multiple defenders, but almost caught Brown by surprise. He gives the thumbs up as he looks back. Here's Orange still. Well-weighted ball up to Takahashi. Just a few moments to go here in the first half. Heavy collision at midfield, and it's a foul. That goes against Zubak.
Olin's still slow to get up, but I'm sure he's fine. He's got the set piece in a decent position to float something into the box or to knock it wide. Referee saying, wait for my whistle.
Mafeka. Kai Green. Now once again Mafeka. 2 goals Wednesday. His first and second goals of the season. Here's Takahashi. Oakland with over 60% of the possession. We saw them early in the season as a possession-oriented team. Of late, they haven't really been as focused on that. Mafeka strike from distance through the wrong goalposts.
It's a good strike, but a little bit too much height on it. But yeah, I mean, that's the way the game seems to be panning out, is Oakland Roots on the front foot, probing, keeping possession around the box, and LA Galaxy with these lightning quick attacking transitions that try and catch Oakland Roots out. And they've had opportunities. It's, you know, if you were looking at the shots on there, it's actually more shots to LA Galaxy stuff. All the possession Oakland Roots have had, you've got to say that the best chances probably have fallen to Los Dos.
And we've had some conversations with Jordan Farrell about that as the season has gone along. Part of the reason they were playing more possessive style early in the season was, as I alluded to earlier, they had that point where they had 4 strikers signed, 4 strikers out. So they had to find alternate avenues to get in. Now they're able to play more direct because they have some true strikers. So interesting to see them kind of take a page out of the early season book here and go back to the possessive style.
Now they have options and they can figure it out. But when we're getting to half-time here and you look at it and think, well, would a draw suit either of these teams? And the answer is probably no for both managers. Junior Gonzalez is saying, I need 3 points to climb back up the table. And for Jordan Farrell, he's going, well, this is one of my home matches. I need to pick up 3 points here today. So I don't think either manager is going to be happy with a draw, which hopefully means in the second half, the teams will start throwing more of their weapons into more of their attacking weapons on the pitch and having a real go.
2 clubs battling over the Atlantic Division's final playoff spot takes center stage when the USL on ESPN continues as Charlotte Independence travels north to Dillon Stadium to take on Hartford Athletic Thursday, September 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes.
They've tried this high press Oakland Roots, but LA Galaxy have on many occasions managed to play through the press. They have the talent to do it.
Heavy touch from Kai Green left him out of position and gave the ball away. But well done to win it back. It's Akeem Ward.
It does feel to me, though, that even if Oakland Roots keep it at 0-0, they've got so much ammunition on the bench that with 20 minutes to go, half an hour to go, they can throw on the likes of a Jeremy Bakila up front and Johannes Harish, Chuy Enriquez, and say to them, right, you guys have a go now. You've got half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever. These are quality players that they can throw on.
Join USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community who have shaped the USL.
Bomsteeg hasn't had much to do. He's had a few balls flash across the face of his box and a few shots from outside the box, but nothing really to test him.
Nothing at all to test him. 0 official shots on target for the Oakland Roots.
Whereas conversely, you think Paul Blanchard's had 1 or 2 saves that he's had to make. One from that man there, Jonathan Perez. So again, if you're to look at it and say, well, who's had the better of the first half, it's possession-wise Oakland, but in terms of shots and chances, the expected goal, if you're to look at the the expected goal stat, I would think it's in favor of LA Galaxy.
Aguirre and Perez, they both stood over a free kick earlier in the match. That one was striking distance. This one certainly crossing distance. I was just about to say, you imagine it would be the in-swinger from Aguirre, and it will be as Perez vacates the area. Aguirre swings it in. Orange still nods it away. Brown gives it back. Brown left in the dust, falls to the ground, played centrally and cut out by Orange. Still, he had to. Aguirre was waiting at the penalty spot. And no stoppage time in the first half. That's it. 45 gone. 0-0 between these two sides.
You see Brian Brown slipping yet again. It's happened to him a number of times in this match. I wonder if he's going to check his footwear at halftime. But yeah, all fairly even. The big question really seems to be what's going to happen second half. It's been one of those sort of testing out first halves, not too much to report on. But I certainly think that Oakland Roots as the home side are going to have to up the ante in the second half.
A chance for Oakland to go above the playoff line with a win. A chance for LA Galaxy to pull within a game of that playoff line in spite of their recent struggles. 45 to go. It's 0-0 right now. The Anthem halftime show is next.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, unless you do it together.
1, 2, 3, family!
That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots are teaming up, taking on food insecurity, improving physical and mental health, and speaking out for social justice. We're committed to improving the lives and health of our community together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
Oakland, the town.
A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going,
But it's also where you come from. See, here, there's always room at the top.
where sky's the limit.
But roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges.
But we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here.
It's all eyes on we.
Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is let's go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love.
And the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
Community. It's not just a place. It's shared experiences and memories. It's feeling like you belong. It's home.
Here is Jack McInerney, still McInerney!
But community is more than where you come from. It's the sum of our collective actions. And if we work together, it's ours for generations. East Bay Community Energy. Join us in leading the transition to green power.
We're back here on the Anthem halftime show at the break between Oakland Roots and LA Galaxy 2. And this matchup, depending on how the last 45 go, will have a big impact on the playoff race. So will the upcoming schedules for both of these clubs. The Oakland Roots, if they're able to end up taking 3 points from the final 45 minutes, they could end the night in a playoff place. And this is the schedule ahead. San Diego, Orange County, some of the teams they're chasing.
Absolutely, and they all become 6-pointers, don't they? Orange County will be a tough one away from home. Las Vegas Lights, maybe there's a good chance of getting points there. Sacramento Republic as well. And then at Phoenix Rising, that could be a massive one. But they've beaten Phoenix Rising before.
They were at home, to be fair, but they did beat them. You are correct. And then on the other side, LA Galaxy 2, they were in the playoff race for quite a while. They've seemed to have run out of steam. They've still had a couple of good games in there. This is their road ahead. It's going to be tough to claw back above the playoff line now for them.
It will be, but it's possible. Against Sacramento Republic, another 6-pointer. They're also looking to get into playoff places. Phoenix Rising, of course, is always a tough one. San Diego Loyal, well, they've had good results against them in the past. So to get into the playoffs, you have to have a fantastic run from now to the end of the season. That's a challenge for both LA Galaxy 2 and Oakland Roots.
And the first challenge at hand, the second 45 of this game. We're back in a moment here on the Anthem halftime show.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Teams it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal!
His right-footed shot, and it's in! Knocked away. Looking for Para, could fall for an opportunity here. The shot comes in! Oh, it's brilliant!
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you got next?
Lee Cohen, he was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, unless you do it together.
1, 2, 3, family!
That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots are teaming up, taking on food insecurity, improving physical and mental health, and speaking out for social justice. We're committed to improving the lives and health of our community together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
We're back here at the half between the Oakland Roots and LA Galaxy 2. It's 0-0, but they had something going on pregame. They had performances of live music from Emmy Award winner, or nominee, Kosciuszko and G-Eazy. And these two put on a show before the game. And then since then, not much has gone on. It's 0-0. But we'll come back to our game in a second. First, we take a look around the league with some news and notes from around USL Championship. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. To learn more, you can see on the website all the great things that are being done here in USL. Monterey Bay FC broke ground on their new stadium. They will be in the league in 2022. And your Clear Audio Player of the Week, Jan Ekra, 2 goals, 2 assists. Would it surprise you if I told you that's only ever happened 11 times in USL history?
Seriously?
2 goals, 2 assists. It's a big day. You have to have at least 4 goals, and you have to be involved in them all.
That's true.
But Devin Kerr sprinkled that one on me 11 times only in USL history.
That's good stats. Mind you, if you're playing for Tampa Bay Rowdies, you've got more chance than with most teams.
Absolutely, absolutely. You look at the Pacific Division standings brought to you by Puma. As it stands right now, the Oakland Roots would get a point, and LA Galaxy 2 would get a point. Orange County is tied in their match, so a lot to still sort out here.
Yeah, lots of ups and downs, but it's a massive 45 minutes for both LA Galaxy 2 and Oakland Roots, because 1 point doesn't really help them enough. They want to get 3 points, especially LA Galaxy 2, if they want to get back in this playoff race. So win today is vitally important for them.
And tonight, the live scores from around the league. Charlotte took the win against Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay set the record for games, consecutive shutout streak, and minutes. And some other big results there as well. Louisville gets the win in their match. That seemed to be a good one as well.
That was a very good match there. Cam Lancaster getting a great headed goal for the second against Indy 11. Birmingham held by OKC. So again, OKC, Indy 11 and a few other teams all battling it out there to try and get that 4th and final playoff spot in that Central Division.
And elsewhere around the Pacific Division as it pertains to Oakland and LA. Phoenix up 1-0 on Orange County. Sacramento and San Antonio are 0-0 as we are here at the half between the Roots and Galaxy. Back with highlights and stats from half number 1 in a moment.
What do you think about our new tagline?
Have you checked that on Urban Dictionary?
That's descriptive.
How's our checkout working?
I can't add it to the cart. The chat's in the way. Frustrating.
Eye-opening.
See it how your customer sees it with user testing.
For so many, life looks different these days. Some now work from home. Others have become essential. People are stepping up in big ways to help keep the world moving. And at Anthem Blue Cross, we're doing the same to keep them protected. With affordable plans full of benefits like online care. Because when health moves forward, we all move forward. Anthem Blue Cross.
Our world is made up of digital experiences. Experiences that rely on the movement of money. From payments to purchases, from transactions to transfers, Marqeta's modern card issuing platform enables companies to issue physical, virtual, and tokenized cards to build their payments infrastructure. That's why leaders across industries use Marqeta to power new and innovative experiences. Marqeta. You see a card, we see endless possibilities.
Players beginning to trickle back out onto the field as half number 2 is moments away. And with that, we take a look back at half number 1 with highlights brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. Not a lot to speak of in that first half. Just a couple of shots on target. Free kick here from Perez just over the bar on Blanchette. Both keepers overall quiet half.
Yeah, Blanchett had that one covered. Not too much of a problem from that position. There was one or two little half opportunities. Lyndon Ferkert on the right-hand side here. Could he find some in the middle? No. Unfortunately, Brian Brown slipping, as he did many times in that first half. Lyndon Ferkert, good run, and doesn't find a black shirt. Okay, more pressure from the home side, lofted. This was a nice little period of play where they kept possession around the edge of the box, just set it up here, and inside for Ariel Mumba to shoot wide. And there wasn't a hell of a lot going on, was there?
Maybe some chemistry issues still up top with Brian Brown. See if they get sorted out in the second half. Again, it's one thing to train with a team for 3-4 weeks. It's different to get out there in game action. This was a dangerous chance, probably the best of the half for LA.
A great run from Jonathan Perez down that right-hand side, but when he gets to the final piece of the puzzle, this is brilliant. Gets inside, he's got his head up, now he's got to get, and he looks up again. Now's the time to pass it to Judd, who's free and could stick it into an empty net, and he can't get that final pass away.
Just a few moments to go in the half, and a volley from distance here from Lindo Mafeka ends up going over the goal through the other goal posts here at Laney College. And that was, really that was maybe the best threat for Oakland. They had a shot.
It's a good strike, but it's just not on target. And I think that pretty much sums up the first half. There was a lot of good intent. The two shots that were on target went to LA Galaxy. So again, if you're to pick anyone and say, well, who had the better of the game? Yes, 62% to the home side, but what did they do with it? Not a single shot on target. So at least LA Galaxy had the two on target, and they're playing from a counter position. Okay, they're sort of sitting back, allowing Oakland Roots to attack them, trying to counter them with pace and skill, which they have done once or twice. But I think it's all set up for a better second half. And this has been a feeling out process. I'm hoping that it'll all come to life in the next 45 minutes.
And you look to the bench for Oakland, something you spoke a bit about in the first half, Gary. Plenty of firepower to bring in as they try and chase the 3 points here with Bokila available, Tarn Weir available, Chuy Enriquez, Johannes Harish, all players who have scored so far this season, and one of the team leaders in goals, Bokila, with 4 on the season right there on the bench.
And I don't think you can say the same for LA Galaxy. They've got some young players on the bench, some 18-year-olds, a 17-year-old. They've got Jorge Hernandez at 20 who's good, and Remy Cabral, maybe they can bring them on, or Josh Drack. But a lot more limited for LA Galaxy in terms of what they can do. But both sides will have to bring on fresh legs at some stage because of the amount of work players do these days, and because they know that they can be subbed, they'll put in the extra amount of running. So expect to see a whole bunch of changes in the second half.
Lindo Mafeka, one of the attacking options in the middle as a number 10 for Oakland. We saw him get into a couple of advanced positions. He will look to combine with Brian Brown in half number 2. Seems like we're going to have one change right now, actually, for Oakland. Matias Visore is over on the sideline. We'll see who leaves that huddle for the Roots to exit the match. Visore is, by trade, a number 6 in this squad. But he comes in for Ariel Mumba. Interesting here what it might change for the Roots. Figured it might be for a Max Ornstill or for Joseph Nane. So not a like-for-like substitution by any means here, with Visore coming in for Mumba.
That's interesting. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see who moves around. I'm sure it will involve one or two players pushing up, maybe Linda and Feka pushing up a little bit more in midfield.
Could also see potentially a change in the formation, something to keep an eye out for the Roots. Ornstill could certainly slot back. They've done it this season where they have, during the game, switched to a 3-5-2, and the personnel is out there and available for it if they choose to go that route with Green, Clementa, and Ornstill. And we're underway in half number 2. Oakland, black tops, white bottoms from right to left. Galaxy, the visitors, in the all-white. Substitution brought to you by East Bay Community Energy. Visit ebce.org to learn more.
Yeah, it might not even be a tactical decision. It might just be a slight strain or an injury of some sort that we don't know about. So either way, we'll see how it impacts the game.
Here's Akeem Ward. We'll see how it evolves.
I do think the onus is very much on Oakland Roots to make something happen. They want to make the playoffs. They're a more experienced group. For LA Galaxy 2, of course, they would love to make the playoffs, but for them, developing players is also a huge issue, and that they've done superbly well. But for these more experienced players and a bigger, more expensive squad, you would think the onus is very much on Oakland Roots, especially as they're at home, to push a little bit more forward in the second half and at least try and give Justin Von Steeg some work to do, which he didn't get first half.
Alongside Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad you could join us this evening on ESPN Plus and locally on Coffee TV. The Roots a chance to get into a playoff place with a win in this game. LA Galaxy 2 looking to keep pace. They've struggled of late, but they're within arm's length of that playoff line. First couple minutes here of the half, I'm actually noticing Joseph Nane has cycled to the back line. And when we asked Jordan Farrell in our chat this week what the position would be for Nane coming into the lineup for the first time tonight, he said he's prepared to use him as a 6 or as a defender in a 3-back. So now we see him cycle to the back line. It's a very interesting look here from the Roots to see what they might do overall in this half. Here's Perez. Floats one in the area of Judd. Taken away, strike from distance. Fizzes over the bar. That was Aguirre who pressed in.
Again, another shot that doesn't really test the keeper. We've had a few of those from both sides. I'm not saying it's easy. The ball comes very quickly, but he's got time to set up. It just bobbles on him a little bit, to be fair. But still, at this level, you're expecting professional players to be able to get over the ball and at least make the goalkeeper work. I'm not saying you're going to beat him every time from there, but at least make him work. And what we've seen is a few shots that have gone well clear of the crossbar.
Replay was brought to you by Nation's Giant Hamburger, serving you since 1952. Visore, his first bit of action since subbing in. Wanted the foul call, never got it. So how about that for Joseph Nane, who's on the ball now? You get your first start for the Roots since signing. You get to play 2 positions in one night.
Well, let's see if this does work. If they have gone 3 at the back, pushing the wing backs up into a slightly more attacking position and more permanently in that attacking position. And let's see if that does cause problems for LA Galaxy 2.
Direct ball over the top. Brown, Mafeka were in the area, but rising to meet it was Jesus Vasquez, and now it's going the other way. Here's Nane. That stays in for Takahashi. So quick with the ball at his feet. And just a couple of touches from the wing to the middle. Doesn't seem like Oakland's relinquishing their stranglehold on the possession here either.
I was just going to say that LA Galaxy, they're very comfortable just dropping behind the ball, waiting for the counter-attack. It's a style of football that works very well. It's often used, of course, throughout the world, this sort of sitting and countering. It's hard to break you down when you get numbers behind the ball, and you can counter-attack into acres of green space. So it is a very, very valid way of playing, and they do it extremely well, LA Galaxy too. And yet the previous match was a 7-goal thriller against Phoenix Rising. So maybe it's just Phoenix Rising are so good at coming at you that you have no choice but to slug it out with them. But they're becoming very, very difficult here, LA Galaxy 2, to break down.
Looking to break them down now. The Roots pressing inward. The shot was wide from Hakeem Ward. Rather Lindo Mafeka in the middle.
And most of the matches in which LA Galaxy 2 have played in recent times anyway have been a ton of matches. 7 goals mentioned against Phoenix Rising in the last match. 6 when they lost 4-2 against San Diego Loyal. 6 when they drew 3-3 Sacramento Republic. 5 against Las Vegas Lights. Those are their last 4 games. So maybe Junior Gonzalez just said, look, I'm sick of all these goals going in. I know it's fun to watch, but what I want you to do today is go out there and keep a clean sheet. And again, that could be part and parcel of the sort of, you know, teaching players the different styles of football and how you can defend and how you can sort of try and hold on to a clean sheet. Certainly they've made it very difficult for Oakland Roots up until this point in the game, but I do suspect that they will push forward more and more, Oakland Roots, and they'll bring on some big hitters off the bench that can start to wear down this Los Dos defense.
Combined 11 goals in the first 3 meetings between these two teams. And you go ahead and you look at the league leaders in terms of goals conceded. LA Galaxy, 4th most goals conceded at 46. Conversely, 5th most goals scored at 39, to your point. Every game they play, you know the ball's going in either net a number of times. So very interesting to see it still 0-0.
I think Junior Gonzalez has said, this is not good for my blood pressure. Give me a 0-0. I mean, the last 4 matches have averaged 6 goals per game. That's a lot of goals to be scored match after match.
Orange still. Ward. Rodriguez sends a ball in. Too strong for Brown and not strong enough to get to Takahashi, but Takahashi wins the secondary ball. Rodriguez out wide, tackle in the box, and it's a clean one. Hakeem Ward trying to win it back. Battle in the corner ensues. And it's a throw for LA after all that.
Acosta with a perfect tackle. If you don't get this right, it's an absolute penalty every day of the week. But he gets it spot on there, Danilo Acosta, and then fights to get possession of the ball afterwards. And he's a big, strong man at the back, so he's won himself the throw-in. But less and less do you see sliding tackles in the box these days, because if you do not get it 100% right, then every chance it's a penalty.
Oakland still pressing in now on Galaxy. And credit to Elvis Osmanovic as well, the official in that situation. How often do we see a tackle like that in the box, and right, wrong, or indifferent, the official almost just assumes it's a foul and blows the whistle and puts the team at the mark. He read that perfectly because it was an absolute picture-perfect tackle from Danilo Acosta. Aguirre out wide. Cross swung in, but nobody there at the backside for Galaxy. Takahashi was surprised to see somebody closing in on him at the last moment. And he loses the ball to Owen Lamb. Aguirre. Zubac looking to get it back to Aguirre, and it's won back by the Roots. We saw the stat there, 60% of the duels have been won by Galaxy, and that's an area where you question, Gary, coming into this, a young Galaxy squad against a veteran, physical Oakland squad. Well done to the young lads of Galaxy to be stuck in to win 60% of the duels so far.
Yeah, great credit to them. You can see they've got the clean sheet, and part of that is winning those 50-50s. They've got to keep winning them all the way to the end of the match, though. And again, you sense that perhaps the older, stronger players might start to dominate towards the end. But so far, I think if you're Junior Gonzalez, from a defensive point of view, you're saying, fantastic, guys, well done. Now, can you just create something in attack for me so we can leave here with a nice 1-0 or 2-0 victory?
Aguirre's been lively in the middle, and he draws the foul here on Fesore. Every time it seems like Galaxy are looking to spring an attack, the ball is either at the feet of Aguirre or Perez.
Well, both those players can run at you with the ball at their feet. They've got wonderful control, and it's not an easy skill to run at pace with the ball under control at your feet. But those two players you mentioned, especially Perez, they can do it extremely well.
Bawa. He turns Aguirre around. Able to keep it in. Ward wins it and knocks it out for a throw. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Bawa touches it past Ornstill into the box. Positive movements from the right wing back.
Did so well, Bawa, to get into the box. He sort of hesitated, then he went again, almost dummied the defenders, got himself in a great position, and then just blew the shot completely, which is such a pity because he'd done so well to actually get himself in the box. That has been the summary of tonight's game so far. You know, good skills here and there, some nice moments, but the final product just hasn't quite been good enough as yet. And that could all still change.
Takahashi wins it cleanly. Fesore for Ward. 75-25, the possession in Oakland's favor in the second half.
Yeah, but here's that counter-attack that they keep looking for.
And a great ball from Judd into Zubac coming across. Great tackle, well timed by Kai Green.
That is an awesome tackle from Kai Green. If he doesn't make that tackle, it's almost certainly a goal. And that's the counter-attack football that LA Galaxy have played so well this evening. A perfect example of it.
Aguirre in space, the shot. Well done creating that space for himself, dancing around two defenders.
Once again, though, unfortunately the shot not on target, but it's a lovely ball through as well from Preston Judd. That tackle just as Ethan Zubac was winding his foot up to smash that into the back of the net. Along comes Kai Green with a brilliant tackle at the right moment. But that's what LA Galaxy 2 have done so well all evening. Defend in numbers, bodies behind the ball, attack with pace and speed and accuracy. And a number of occasions now they've been extremely close to getting the first goal of the match.
These teams are even now in the second half in terms of goal-saving tackles that were perfect in the box. I'm not sure which one of those two was the better teaching tape if you're coaching a young team of 8-year-olds. Which one you want them to mimic, whether Acosta's or whether Green's. Show them both, actually.
Well, I think Kai Green's one was more important because that was an almost certain goal if he doesn't make the tackle, whereas Danilo Acosta's one was away from the keeper in the corner of the box, and certainly it was an attacking move, but a long way to go before there was a shot on goal. With Kai Green, he doesn't make that tackle right there and then. That's a shot on goal from Ethan Zubac, and possibly he would have beaten the keeper from there. So well done, Kai Green.
Bawa feeds it along. Perez pulls it back for Lamb. Perez again. Jalen Neal. Again, a look at that second half possession, 73-27 in Oakland's favor. And it's not a matter of how much you have the ball, it's a matter of what you do with it, and they still have 0 shots on target through an hour.
That makes me think that Brian Brown only has a few minutes left on the pitch, because there's good options on the bench for Jordan Farrell. And normally around about the 60-minute mark, you start to look at those options if you're a manager. And Jeremy Bakila, for one, would be a name that you would think would make an appearance reasonably soon.
I can't tell if you're cheating here or if you are going off the cuff there, because Bokila is up shedding the penny right next to Jordan Farrell.
I couldn't see, so is he? You got good eyes to see that. And the other one would be Chuy Enriquez. I think you're going to get him on because he can create something out of nothing. Those are 2 valuable impact players.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it that you're just using your brain here and you didn't see Bokila.
Well, where are you looking? Seeing you pointing it out, is it the orange? Oh yeah, on the far side. There you go.
There you go. And he is entering, as you mentioned, for Brian Brown. Substitution brought to you by Aviation Institute. Looking for an essential career in the field of aviation? The Aviation Institute of Maintenance offers FAA-approved hands-on training to prepare students to test their airframe and power plant certification. Call 888-FIX-JETS for more info. That's 888-349-5387.
But a few pats on the back there for Brian Brown, but to be fair, it really wasn't the best of games for him. He didn't impact the game much, didn't have shots on target, slipped on a few occasions. Maybe his footwear wasn't right, but things might improve, and no doubt he's a very talented player, but we all love to make an impression, a good first impression, and for Brian Brown, it didn't quite happen today.
Takahashi saw it cleared away right in front of him, out for a corner kick, which Lindo Mufeka will trot out to take. The team leader in goals for the Oakland Roots, rather tied for the team lead now after Vol Fall's goal on Wednesday night. Bokila and Fall, 4 each. No Vol Fall in the 18 tonight, but Bokila is there, and he's a big target in the middle of the box on set pieces like this. Mufeka swings it in. Bokila was in the area. Orange still. Long run down the center of the park coming from Perez, but it's swept along to Blanchette.
Now's a chance for Oakland Roots to counter, because quite a few white shirts ran forward, but you can see them running back. Look at Perez there. He's just run the entire length of the pitch, number 56, to get up there, and he's now run the entire length to get back. That is brilliant effort that young man's just put in. 18 years of age. Wow, good professionalism.
Not many miles on those tires either at 18, so you can make a run like that just past the hour mark still.
You can do it. It's whether you sort of read the game and you're committed, and at 18, not many players were as committed as he was there.
Hakeem Ward keeps it in. Gathering of players in the box for Oakland. Ornstill's there, Bokila's there. It's sent that way in front. They were waiting for a rebound from Vom Steeg, but he grabbed it and held on to it.
Normal service resumed. LA Galaxy drop into the final third of the pitch and leave 2 players up for a counter-attack possibility.
Bokila. Takahashi. Looking for Bokila. Trying to fight off his defender. And Jalen Neal out for a throw.
See, that's where Bokila's so good. He's tempting the defenders to try and take the ball off his feet, maybe bring him down. He's asking questions in the box. He's trying to turn them. That's what you want from your striker.
Chioda powering through. Aguirre looking to clean it up, but Kai Green is there. Ever present, he's been in this game, Kai Green. Perez. Bawa, good ball in. Now it's Aguirre.
Yeah, good target man again there, Bakile just holding the ball up, bringing others into play. That's what's been missing from this team. Brown struggling to do that. Bakile's added that extra ability straight away. As soon as he got on the pitch, he's made a big difference.
Let's give and go between Takahashi and Bokila. Cross from Takahashi. Rodriguez tried to time the jump properly. And it's headed out for a corner kick. Mafeka curls it in. Bokila was there. Back out to Mafeka. Chance to get another cross in. Sent away once again.
Some probing balls into the box now from Oakland Roots. They really are going to test this young LA Galaxy 2 side. Always felt that the last sort of 15 minutes or so, the pressure would ramp up from the host team.
Joshua Drack will enter the match, and Owen Lamb will see his night end. Drack, a dangerous player on the counter, leads the team with 6 assists this season in 21 matches played. And of those 21 matches, 20 of them start, so a rare night in which he did not start for Los Dos. Rodriguez a little overeager. Call for the foul.
Haven't heard much about Johnny Rodriguez, have we, for a while? He's been on the fringes of the game, hasn't really stamped his authority on it. Expect him to be able to do more. We've heard more of Bakile's name in the last 10 minutes than we've heard of Johnny Rodriguez in the last half an hour. So time for him to get more involved in this game.
Cross swung in. That's the most work Blanchette has had to do in the second half.
And that was easy as well. So much height on that. There's never going to be a problem for the keeper. Kai Green, yeah, a couple of honorable mentions there. Some fantastic tackles that he has made in this match.
Not much has been asked of Joseph Nane since he's transitioned over to the back line in this game, and just as I say that, he nearly gives it away to Judd.
You're getting to the point where Oakland Roots are going to have to start taking a few little risks. 1 point really at home is not enough, and they're going to have to just push forward a little bit more. It means taking risks perhaps, but they've got to put LA Galaxy 2 under a lot more pressure, and that starts with getting set pieces. Because the more of these set pieces you bomb into the box, the more chance is of a flick on it near post, or the big center half getting on the end of it. Maybe Kai Green, he's done so well in defending, maybe he can come forward and get on the end of one of these. Clementa, you throw those all into the box, and of course you've now got Jeremy Bakila as well.
Green has 1 goal on the season. It came off of a corner kick. Fonseca swings it in. That was Visore there.
Not the best set piece there, was it? You've got to get more height in the corner. You've got to allow maybe a flick on at the near post. Good pressure from Oakland Roots, getting turnover ball in a dangerous area of the pitch.
Rodriguez cuts in. Rodriguez has a strike. All Vom Steed could do was watch, and he's fortunate it sailed past the post.
Well, I asked a couple of minutes ago for Johnny Rodriguez to step up, and he certainly did that there. What a magnificent move. Inside on the right foot. He hits it so early that Van Steeg can barely move. He doesn't sort of see it coming. He moves it to his right, Johnny Rodriguez, and then just smacks it, and it's bending as well to that far post. And with that, he gets substituted.
Unlucky for Rodriguez. That's his last bit of play as Memo Diaz enters the match. Chuy Enriquez has also entered. It's Soya Takahashi who left for Chuy Enriquez, and Rodriguez who left the match for Memo Diaz.
Well, at least it's a positive move from Oakland Roots. They're trying to make something happen. As I said, they've got the onus is on them. They're the home side. They need the points. They've spent the money to get the players and bring them in. They want to get to these playoffs, and then they've got to do something about it. So they've made some changes. They've shuffled things around. Chuy Enriquez and Jeremy Bakila were the two players I felt could make a really big difference. Really talented players. I guess if you're an LA Galaxy 2 fan, you're thinking, well, Oakland Roots, throw bodies forward, take some risk, because we're going to try and catch you on the counter-attack. And with the likes of Preston Judd and Jonathan Perez, you've got two players who have the capability to counter-attack any team and score.
Here's Visore. Threads the ball into the box, and it's out for a corner. Official attendance tonight, 4,802. There are only 4 home games left at Laney this season. Don't miss any of the action as the Roots make their push towards the playoffs. Tickets start at $20 for general admission. Visit OaklandRootsSC.com/tickets tonight. A record so far for the Roots here at Laney, 4,802, waiting for a goal perhaps to send them to 3 points and send them above the playoff line at the end of the evening. Perez latches onto this one. Doesn't have much help. He waits for it. Drac was coming around the edge. Zubak to help out. Zubak. Fumbles around, contact in the box. Penalty for Galaxy.
It looked like it. We'd have to see it in slow-mo, but referee Elvis Zezmanovic had no doubt whatsoever. I think it's Clemente. He doesn't seem to be arguing too much. He's just shrugging a little bit, but this will tell us. Let's have a closer look. Nice skills in the box from the LA Galaxy 2 players, and well, it's going to be very difficult for us to see from that angle. Nonetheless, it's a penalty, and now it's up to Paul Blanchett to see if he can pull Oakland Roots out of this. We talked about the counter-attack and how LA Galaxy were just looking for the opportunity, and they've created it.
Here's a look at it. Perez taken down, certainly.
Clemente putting a foot in there, yeah.
Taylor Davila against Paul Blanchett. And Taylor Davila send Galaxy ahead Or can Paul Blanchette come up big as he has for the last month and a half for the Roots? 75th minute. 0-0 for now. There's the whistle. Davila converts. 1-0 Galaxy, his first of the season, and the visitors are on top.
Well done to those young players. They have played this match absolutely brilliantly. They've defended, they've just counter-attacked into space, and they were hoping that one of those counter-attacks would produce the goods, and this one has. Clementa putting a foot in there, bringing down Jonathan Perez. Up steps Davila and sticks that in the opposite side to where Paul Blanchette dives. And so the visitors have the lead. The question is, can they hold on to it for the next 15 minutes? Because you would think they're now going to start bombing everything forward, Oakland Roots. They have to. So to make the playoffs, they've got to get something out of this match.
Talked early on about the maturation process of this team. They have the 1-1 draw on the road against New Mexico, the win over Phoenix. They grind out a 1-0 win for the first time when they last played Vegas. This would be that next step here. You go down late, punched in the mouth. How do you respond?
And of course, you can't throw everything forward because then you're likely to get caught in the counter-attack yet again. So it's a delicate balance. But if you don't get something forward, you're not going to get the equalizer. So Oakland Roots take some risks. And let's see what happens.
As the live table stands, then Galaxy would be within 4 of the Roots. It's only 4 points separating 5th and 7th. Oakland would remain 2 back of, they would be 3 back of Tacoma. And they would be level on Galaxy. It just updated after the score updated. Another change on the way. This one on the side of Galaxy. Jorge Hernandez entering the match. And Preston Judd will head over to the sideline.
We haven't seen much of Preston Judd for a man who's had such a wonderful season and scored a ton of goals. He really hasn't had much service. He hasn't had much to work with. Maybe this style of football, the more counter-attack style, isn't what brings out the best in him.
Memo Diaz wins it back. The crowd enjoys that. Now what? Diaz puts it right into the arms of Omsteeg, and Bokila heated.
Yeah, Bokila's saying, put it on my head and give me the chance to score a goal. What chance do I have if you stick it in the near post to the goalkeeper? And that's a fair comment. You bring a player like Jeremy Bokila on, you've got to give him service. You've got to put ball on his head and give him something to fight for.
Here is Bokila. Ward with the acrobatics to keep that one in play. Taken away by Bawa, well read by the defender. And he gets it back as he continues his run. Drac. Galaxy content to maybe have a spell of possession here before it slips too far from my memory. Of course, my math on the fly was incorrect before. Surprise, surprise. As it would stand, Oakland in 6th with 27 points. Galaxy in 7th with 26 points. There'd be a 1-point difference between the two. Hernandez finds Zubak. Got under it.
You can see what he was trying to do, Ethan Zubak. He was trying to sort of stick it in that far post. It opened up for him. But again, as we've seen most of today's match from both sides, shots flying up and over the crossbar on so many occasions.
Drac coming off the bench tonight. See what he can do as they look for maybe an insurance goal. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition to their USL senior teams. For more info, visit usl-academy.com. Mafeka. Here's Diaz. Takes a deflection. Bokila jockeying for position. and he commits the foul. Both players stumbled on the turf, but as that happened, Bokila put the arm out, it seemed, and made contact with the defender.
Yeah, so many players have struggled with the turf this evening to try and keep their balance. You can see how big and strong Bokila is and why there's not more high balls being bombed into the box nice and early. I've no idea. Maybe it'll start happening in the last 10 minutes. And again, if you're Junior Gonzalez, and especially if you've said to your team, this is how I want you to play, which I don't know if he has or not, but if he said, I want you to play counter-attack football, I want you to sit back, then he must be absolutely ecstatic with the way this match has gone for Los Dos. But there's still 10 minutes to go.
Kai Green carries it forward. Now it's Memo Diaz. Haven't heard much from Chuy Enriquez since he has entered the match. He's calling for it there from Fasori. Instead, it's sent out wide to Ward. Overlap came from Enriquez. Can he get there before it goes out? He does. There's Jeremy Bokila. Tied for the team lead with 4 goals. Had that all to himself until Wednesday, when Vol Fall scored his 4th. Good ball in. Akeem Ward cutting inside. Akeem Ward had it blocked.
That's better from Oakland Roots. Get in there, make things happen, and on top of that, get some crosses in for Bokila. At last, they're really having a go, which we thought they would. Last 10 minutes, got no choice. Whether you lose 1-0 or 2-0 makes no difference. You've got to throw some extra bodies forward and get crosses in the box. Once again, credit these young LA Galaxy 2 players. They're playing out of pressure. They're dealing with all the attacks. They're not giving away any penalties the way Oakland Roots did. So far, perfect defensive performance.
Perez was fouled as he tried to get into some space. Nation's Giant Hamburgers, hungry for a hamburger? Don't settle for a nothing burger. Go for a Nation's Giant Hamburger. The East Bay's favorite since 1952. Really fresh, a little hard to hold. Keep it real, make it Nation's.
So I'm just checking through past matches for LA Galaxy 2. The last time they kept a clean sheet was 8 games ago, and it was against Oakland Roots, 3-0.
There you go. That was the first game back for the Roots after their COVID pause. A look at the road ahead for Galaxy as they try to get back into this playoff race. They're by no means out of it, especially if this result holds. They'd be within 4 points of the playoff line themselves. That one's brought back for the foul against Joseph Nane. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Orange still hobbling a little bit.
And in fact, Los Dos have only had 3 clean sheets all season, so it hasn't been one of their strengths. The strength has been going forward and scoring a ton of goals and conceding a whole bunch on the other end, but
Aguirre and Bokila exchanging some words.
There's a slight difference in height and size there. So very brave of Aguirre, but he probably wants to leave it at that and not take it any further.
Decade difference in age as well, not just the height and noted before that Ornstill was hobbling around. Tarn Weir will be entering for Max Ornstill. To your point about the clean sheets for Galaxy, it's not hard to figure a team that has given up the 4th most goals in the league at 46 of them. Not too many clean sheets are going to pop up when that is the record defensively.
And yet the way they've defended today, they're very capable of it. So maybe it's a tactical change from Junior Gonzalez. And if it is, then it's been carried out absolutely perfect by his players.
And that's something that you can get in a situation like this where you're meeting a team for the 4th time this season, the 4th and final time of the regular season, that is. Could possibly meet again in the playoffs, you never know. You can draw on those past meetings to make changes and come away potentially with a clean sheet here, knowing Oakland, how they want to attack you. And to be fair to Galaxy, the last time these teams met, that win for Oakland 2-1 very much had a lot to do with the red card that was taken early on by Owen Lamb, as Jorge Hernandez picked up a yellow here. But Galaxy had to go 75 minutes, or pardon me, about an hour down a man in that game. And prior to that, they had a 1-0 lead. They were controlling the flow of the game. So don't be fooled by the fact that Oakland had won 2 of the 3 meetings. The third one very well could have gone Galaxy's way if not for the red card.
Well, if they can produce a few more defensive performances like this, Los Dos, they could be the ones to grab the 4th playoff spot and maybe even go higher.
Still a lot to be decided here in the Pacific Division. I have an update on a goal for you. Just a minute ago, Ronaldo Damas leveled the scoreline against Phoenix Rising 1-1 between Orange County and Phoenix. Those teams meeting at Wild Horse Pass for the 2nd time this season. The first one ended 1-1 on the 95th minute goal by Prince Sadie.
Yeah, any points that Orange County pick up there will be a bonus.
Isaac Bawa mishits it.
And then promptly runs his way back into a defensive position. That's the effort they've put in here, LA Galaxy, the organization. We saw earlier how Jonathan Perez ran the length of the pitch to attack and then the length of the pitch back to defend. It's been a really mature performance in so many ways.
Marcus Ferkranis is getting set to check in for Galaxy. For now, it'll be for Jonathan Perez, who earned the penalty that Taylor Davila converted back in the 75th minute.
And that's tough on Oakland Roots, that one little moment like that. Clementa just putting a foot out when it was ill-advised is going to influence and decide, in fact, decide this entire match, because so much other effort's gone in and shots that could have maybe hit the back of the net. It's a horrible way to lose a match that on a penalty. The LA Galaxy have, as we said, have played it so well in just countering, probing. That man there had a great chance first half. If he'd been able to put it back to Judd, it would have been a goal there, and he has threatened, as you quite rightly said, he won the penalty as well. So he's had a major influence on this game.
Left his mark. Now he leaves the pitch and gives way for Marcus Ferkranis, a defensive-minded substitution. He goes right to the back line. Ward. Played inside to Enriquez. Cut back. Curled in. Bokila, the header to the back post. Tardaweer was a step too late, but a corner won by the Roots.
That's the ball that Bokila has been waiting for. Whip it in there. He's so good in the air. Gets the flick on. You don't need to put the perfect ball in. Just get it somewhere near the big man.
Corner was taken quickly and dealt with well by Galaxy. Lafeka, a chance to get another cross in. Drives it in towards Bokila. It's falling for Fasore. He was waiting for the volley, and it was poked away at the last moment. Here's Tarnweer. They missed him for a few weeks due to injury. Hakeem Ward lines it up. Back post. Bokila was waiting again. Memo Diaz puts a charge into it. It's blocked. They're starting to look for the head of Bokila, as you quite rightly pointed out, Gary.
I just wonder why teams have to wait until right near the end before they do. Oh, no, not quite. It looked like it was going to be a golazo for a moment. But surely they could have been doing this for the last 15 minutes instead of the last 2 or 3. Sometimes I feel that players and maybe coaches want to create perfect football goals, but hey, a good ball into the box and a header is as good a goal as any other. So if that's the way it has to be, I do think, I'm not so sure that was legal, by the way. Would have been a lot of complaints if that one had gone in the back of the net.
I think it almost caught Kai Green by surprise. He looked down at the guy on the ground, he popped up, he took the shot.
Well, after everything going so well for Oakland Roots, is this the game where it starts to unravel? You hope for their fans it's not the case, but time is running out. The loss at Tampa Bay Rowdies, that it can happen to anyone. That you get. Phoenix Rising got beat there. It's difficult to go there. They were top of the Eastern Conference last year, but a loss here at home would be a different story for the confidence of Oakland Roots.
Joshua Drack picks up a yellow card. And if that's your only loss in a 10-game span on the road against Tampa Bay, you've done something right for a 10-game span.
100%. They've been brilliant, not just something right. They've been brilliant for that 10-game span. But a loss here, and suddenly you start looking at it and going, well, you know, can they keep it going? Have they got enough to make that top 4? I still think they have. I still think it's a wonderful squad, but it's being tested at this very moment.
Lindo Mafeka waiting to deliver this. Into stoppage time now. We wait the official number for added time. It is 3 minutes. Mafeka serves it up into a dangerous area. And it's dealt with. Emo Diaz swings it back in. Back post, Kai Green diving header. And it's grabbed by Vom Steeg.
Kai Green in a great position, but could he have put the header either side of the big goalkeeper? Maybe I'm being harsh, but again, he's got there. He's done all the hard work. Yeah, he's angry with himself. If he heads it back the way it comes, he can stick it in that far corner, and that would have been the equalizer. But again, these crosses are now producing something for Oakland Roots, and yet they've only done them in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Into the corner. Stoppage time is brought to you by Nation's Giant Hamburgers. If you order a Nation's Gigantic breakfast for lunch, does that make it a Nation's Gigantic lunch? Just a little food for thought from Nation's. Huge breakfast any time of the day or night. Keep it real. Make it Nation's. Oakland wins it back. 90 seconds to go after a grueling 90 minutes in which they have not been able to break down this Galaxy back line. Crowd of 4,802 willing them on now. But might it be too little too late?
It's beginning to look that way, isn't it? Now the shots are totally different now. It's 11 shots for Oakland Roots, 5 to LA. It was LA who were far ahead up until late into the second half, but only 2 shots each on target, and that's a crucial thing for Oakland Roots. For all their efforts, they haven't really tested Justin Vom Steeg. But even a loss here, and Oakland fans who are feeling a bit down, even a loss, it's still wide open. It just means that LA Galaxy are right up behind Oakland Roots, a point back, but got to see how Sacramento Republic goes. Do Orange County drop points tonight? What happens with San Diego when they play? There's a long way to go still.
That ball handled by Galaxy. One last surge forward. Whistle could come at any moment. Nane. Here's Enriquez. Floated in, center of the box. One last clearance maybe here necessary for Galaxy to secure the 3 points. Is there time enough for Oakland? There is not. Final whistle. Los Dos on the road at Laney College. A massive 3 points as they look to stay in the playoff race themselves, spoiling the party in Oakland.
That's a tough one for Oakland Roots to take, but huge credit to Los Dos, keeping that clean sheet. Absolutely brilliant. You could see the players in white hug each other at the end of the game because they knew what commitment they had made to beat Jordan Farrell's Oakland Roots. There you go, even in the background there, the Los Dos players still high-fiving each other. It's a great performance under big duress. Tough for Oakland Roots, but there's more games to come.
A tough one in Oakland. California clash between the Roots and the Galaxy, and it's the visitors who win 1-0. and stay alive themselves in the playoff race. We're back in a moment to wrap this one up.
Community. It's not just a place. It's shared experiences and memories. It's feeling like you belong. It's home.
Here is Jack McInerney, still McInerney!
But community is more than where you come from. It's the sum of our collective actions. And if we work together, it's ours for generations. East Bay Community Energy. Join us in leading the transition to green power.
Ball over the top for Rodriguez, cut inside, back post, exclamation point.
It doesn't matter how hard you play, practice, or compete, unless you do it together.
1, 2, 3, family!
That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots are teaming up, taking on food insecurity, improving physical and mental health, and speaking out for social justice. We're committed to improving the lives and health of our community together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
Tonight's game was brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities and by user testing real-time feedback from real customers wherever you work. We take a look at the full-time highlights from this one between the Roots and Galaxy, brought to you by Anthem. We take it back to the first half where Galaxy had the better of the chances.
They did. They look very, very sharp. Perez down this right-hand side does so well. He's got the option of Preston Judd in the middle. He doesn't take it. He tries to beat Paul Blanchette. The keeper comes up big. But if it had pulled it back to Judd, Judd was on his own and waiting to tuck it into an empty net. I just wondered at the time if that would cost him, but it didn't. Fortunately for LA Galaxy 2.
This was maybe the best chance for the Roots. Rodriguez.
Oh, he did that so well. Brilliant. The keeper's just gone, I can't get there even if I tried. And with that, he got subbed immediately.
That was it for him. And this was it right here for the Galaxy. That ball fumbled around back and forth. It falls for Perez. He's taken down. And then Davila does the rest from the spot.
Clemente just puts a foot out now and just catches Perez from behind. And, oh, it's a cheap penalty to give away, but give Taylor DeVere credit. He steps up, sticks it at the opposite corner to that which Paul Blanchette chooses. They're 1-0 up. Now they have to defend their lead, and they did that so superbly well. A couple of good crosses in. This one, Kai Green gets it. Could he head it back into the corner? He'll wish he could do that all over again because Kai Green was brilliant in defense. He would have been a hero if he stuck this one in the back of the net, but instead straight to the keeper, and that's how it ends.
We take a look at the full-time stats brought to you by Anthem. A lot of shots in this one. Not many shots on target, though. The efficiency wasn't quite there for either side, but all that matters, one for Galaxy, none for Roots.
Yeah, tough one for Roots. As you say, a lot of shots, very, very little that actually troubled from Stieg, if anything at all. And I think that's the measurement. I'd like to see one day what the expected goals is, because it would be much lower for Roots. You have to work the goalkeeper. They didn't. It's a bad day at the office for Roots. Great credit to LA Galaxy 2 and their young players. And you know what? Oakland Roots, there's still plenty more games to come. You can still make the playoffs.
It started as a party in Oakland with some musical performances. They were hoping to cheer on a victory for the Roots at Laney College, but it didn't go that way. Davila in the 75th minute gets the job done for Galaxy, and they take all 3 points. For my broadcast partner Gary Bailey and the rest of the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malfa saying good night from Oakland, California.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.